Who is it?
It's me, Dave. Open up, man. I got the stuff.
Who is it?
It's me, Dave, man. Open up. I got the stuff.
Who?
It's Dave, man. Open up. I think the cops saw me come in here.
Who is it?
It's Dave, man. Will you open up? I got the stuff with me.
Who?
Dave, man. Open up.
Dave?
Yeah, Dave. Come on, man. Open up. I think the cops saw me.
Dave's not here.
No, man. I'm Dave, man. Hey, come on, man.
Who is it?
It's Dave, man. Will you open up? I got the stuff with
Who?
me. Dave, man. Open up.
Dave?
Yeah, Dave.
Dave's not here.
No, man. I am Dave, man. Will you... Come on. Open up the door, will you? I got the stuff with me. I think the cops saw me.
Who is it?
Oh, what the hell is it? Come, man, open up the door. It's Dave.
Who?
Dave. D-A-V-E. Will you open up the goddamn
Dave?
door? Yeah, Dave.
Dave?
Right, man. Dave. Now, will you open up the door?
Dave's not here.
Oh.
Take 29.
Reach for this one.
And now, a real hit show.
You okay? I can't breathe. What's the matter? I can't breathe, man.
Live from the Twin Cities, it's the Twin Cities Hit Show.
Goddamn, I was in that shit, man. I never had no dope like that before in my life, man. That's the heaviest shit I ever smoked, man. I mean, I smoked a lot of shit before, man. But goddamn, man, that's heavy shit.
Let's get this hit show started.
Can I do my legal disclaimer?
Yeah.
Before you guys even utter a word? Just so you know, the opinions of everybody else on this hit show do not express the opinions of Chuck Gollop, ESQ, all rights reserved.
Thank God.
Today.
Hey, welcome to the Twin Cities Hit Show. I'm Rusty Gatenby, and yes, I guess it's 420. Courtney, that means something?
I'm Courtney McLean.
I'm former police officer Chuck Gollop.
And it is 420, which
Yes.
I don't get it, but
420, April 20th is sort of the pot holiday in cannabis culture. And
Cannabis
well,
culture.
this is the it's a thing now, Chuck. Tell your cop pals. This is how it started. A group of people in San Rafael, California. They called themselves Waldos because they would hang out against the wall at high school. And in fall 1971, they had a plan to search for an abandoned cannabis crop that they had learned about. And the Waldos designated the Louis Pasteur statue on the grounds of San Rafael High School as their meeting place. And 4:20 p.m. was their meeting time.
4:20 p.m.
Yes.
Okay.
420.
And so but then it wasn't, it was just a regular time.
It was just 420.
Yeah, it was just 4:20 in the afternoon. They refer to this plan with the phrase 420 Lewis, but multiple failed attempts to find the crop eventually shortened their phrase to simply 420, which ultimately evolved into a code word that the teens used to mean marijuana
Those
smoking
teens.
in general.
420.
Yeah.
I
And
know.
then-
I know someone who's not a teen. He's in his 80s and he's hanging out at a pot farm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He's far from a teenager, but he happens to be related to our guest Todd Walker.
Hi,
Hey,
Todd.
Todd.
Good morning.
Walker.
Yes, my father's 83 years old, and my cousin happens to own the largest pot farm in the state of Washington, in Wenatchee, Washington, called Monkey Grass Farms.
Monkey
Oh,
grass.
yes.
Yeah, and so when my dad said, everybody goes on spring break, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do on spring break this year. And at 83, I think I deserve one. I think I'm going to go work on the pot farm. So he's out there doing everything from harvesting to creating the different products to putting labels on things.
wow.
Yeah, working at a pot farm.
Has he
Fun.
always been open to pot, or is this a new adventure for him?
It's a little bit of a new adventure, and I'm not sure how much he's participating, but when I did talk to my cousin, I said, so there has to be tons of stories, and she said many of them that you're never going to find out about. So, yeah.
When did it become legal in Washington? Not too long ago.
Not too long ago, no. I think it was within the last 2 years. Now, I was told 420 also is the code that the cops use.
That's what I've heard, too.
We have a cop right here.
Is it?
All units respond. We have a 420.
Is that true?
No.
It isn't.
I also heard if you
legend.
If you flash your brights at a gangster, they will throw marijuana at your head.
Oh, really?
No.
Let's go out and try that.
Urban myth. No.
I'm like, I'll see you guys tonight in the hardest.
You know,
part of
honestly,
town.
as a cop, I can't tell you how late in my police career I realized what 420 meant.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like we're sitting in roll call. Like, you guys need to know this.
That's pretty
420, some shit's going to go. Well, 422 or 425. They're stoners. They might be late. But somewhere around 420, let's watch for some shit, guys. That doesn't happen.
I used to be at McNally Smith College of Music and doing their marketing and advertising, and I got to tell you, 420 there was as big as New Year's Eve.
Oh,
And
God,
it-
yeah.
Really?
Oh, man.
Really?
Yeah.
In the music biz?
Oh,
no.
can you believe that?
That is
Shocking,
weird.
isn't
It's always
it?
the quiet ones.
The day, not the because I heard every afternoon at 420. You're also
Yeah.
supposed to fire up, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a
Right,
big
Courtney?
day.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Courtney's
can't-
got her roach clip with her right now.
She does.
We want to thank Cheech and Chong for the introduction. By the way, here's Cheech Marin on his opinion on the legalization when it will happen.
Ooh, there's a lot of bets on that. Everybody's big money's coming into marijuana now. I mean, really, it's the big corporations and the billionaires, and they're all trying to get behind it. They're all trying to, bet of when it goes. I think within the next 3 to 4 years. That's what it looks like. And this is really the first true domino theory, because it's going to fall like dominoes. There's 30-some states have medical marijuana now. 2 states, Alaska's voting in November that for full recreational, and it's just going to be because why not? Really, that's the question. Why not? It's like, and all the states that are coming on now are adopting this attitude, and we want to treat it like wine. And that's the campaign. We'll treat it like wine. You can grow it. You can, have a little bit of it. You have to be 21 or whatever it is to do it, and just treat it like. And everybody gets that when you put it in context. They go, oh yeah, we could do that.
Wow. So treat it like wine. It makes
Yeah.
sense. It grows out of the earth. It kind of messes you up. But
Yeah, here and
Right.
there.
Well, that's
Here
the
and
thing
there.
is that, alcohol is legal, and it's like, if you have 3 puffs off of a joint, you are, that's not really comparable, I guess, to 3 drinks, but it's like drinking is so much more destructive. And I know there we go.
And time consuming.
And time consuming, and it fills you up, and it's like, I don't know. Smoking pot is just a way better way to unwind after a hard day, I think. But everybody's got their vices,
After a
right?
hard day of podcasting, I am just what?
well, as a police officer, how did what was the damages you saw from pot use?
Crashes, a lot of car crashes, a lot of drunk driving. Well, under the influence.
Were you able to?
Really?
You're
A
not
lot
able
of crashes?
Yeah. But you can never prove. The problem is,
Right.
it's really a hard crime to prove. There's no internal possession law in Minnesota like California where it's illegal to be under the influence of a drug. That's not the case here, but it's illegal to be under the influence and drive. But to prove marijuana, it's the only controlled substance that to prove under the influence, it's not about what's in your bloodstream. If you have any cocaine, any methamphetamine, any number of chemicals, it's illegal per se. And if you get behind the wheel, you're committing a crime. For marijuana, you have to prove intoxication. So you have to prove an inability to be able to drive
Yeah.
and some of the core functions.
Oh, so that's why you were talking about earlier, because I got a paraphernalia ticket in January, and you were saying how, because the cop was telling me that he could have given me a DUI,
Yeah.
but apparently it's just a pain in the ass to
it's
prove.
So how do you
So much work.
how do you prove it? So if I get out of the car and they make me walk the line, they do a breathalyzer. That's evidence right there. So what do you do if you come out? You just look in my eyes and
Yeah, well, there's a whole...
dangle a Twinkie and a bag of Doritos?
Come get it. Come get
you
it.
lunge at it, you're guilty.
If I say 420, you go, guilty. No, you have to prove, the intoxication in terms of walking the line, memory, recall, ability to tell time, the indicia of intoxication like glassy eyes, that type of stuff. But it's really the burden of proof for a marijuana DUI intoxication or marijuana intoxication is pretty high.
If you find someone sitting at a stop sign waiting for it to turn, he's probably high.
Could be.
Been there.
Here's a little bit from Louis C.K. on getting high and how it can mess you up a bit.
I can't smoke pot because it's the same thing. I'm too old for it. Sometimes young people come up to me after shows, hey, do you want to smoke some pot? I'm like, can I get my portion to smoke without you alone later? Because I don't want to stand in a parking lot with some 20-year-olds. Because when I was a kid, you could just smoke a joint for a while. Now you take 2 hits and you go insane. It's not doable anymore. And I was taking big hits, like big 1970s jean jacket Bad Company hits. Here come the jesters, 1, 2, 3. It's all part of my fantasy. And I'm like, yeah. Even he was like, "That you should be careful. That's a lot of pot. That's very strong marijuana." Yeah, I'm fine. Running with the devil, just fucking. And in about 10 seconds, everything just. And I'm like, oh shit. This is an ordeal now. And then at one point, I remember I was at a drive-thru, and I was terrified because there's a lady sticking her head out a window, and she's mad. She's going, "Sir, sir." And I just kept saying, I don't know. I had the window closed. I had no fucking idea. What part of the transaction am I? Did I pay yet? Have I ordered? Have I been sitting here for 40 minutes just eating at the window and I ate the paper and everything? Sir! And I just went, I don't want it! And I just fucking bolted.
So there's some confusion.
Yeah. I do remember the first time I got high, and I had a friend give me 2 buds and a pipe. And this is the old school 80s weed, and I smoked 1 whole bud by myself.
Yeah.
And because I heard the first time nothing happened. I'm like, oh my God, something happened. I remember trying to cross the street. I'm like, just cross the street. Just cross the street. Okay, remember, 1 step. Okay, have you gotten? There are no cars. Have you looked for cars? Wait, take another step. Take another step. Yeah, so yeah, people like that probably shouldn't be driving. Don't know.
So should it be legalized? It sounds like it's a domino effect and it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think it is. And be honest, I've come a long way in my belief on this stuff. But the problem, my concern is the driving. It really is, because it's really hard to prove. I think our laws need to catch up to that, because people in that state, or the state Louis C.K. just described, dangerous. Your average person who's had a couple small tokes, yeah, maybe. But the problem is THC isn't regulated like alcohol. I mean, we know exactly how much alcohol concentration is in this and that, and so we know what the effect should be for the average person based on their weight, and it's not always perfect, but it gives you an idea. That doesn't happen with weed. It could be really strong BC bud that knocks you on your ass, or it could be like I had in the Caribbean not that long ago, and it does nothing.
All right, so you're the professional pot smoker. And comparison to drinking, how do you feel you're impaired when you drive with alcohol compared to when you drive after having a joint or 2?
I think that I am a very good driver when I'm stoned. I don't drive drunk, or I try not to.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah, don't. No, I know. No, it's much. When I have been too drunk to drive, it is way more difficult. I have never been too high to drive.
Really?
Really. Because, but here's the thing, though. Chuck is talking about people who do it for the first time. For your average pot smoker, I'm not your average pot smoker. I am a pothead. I'm very used to it. I know how to handle myself. I can be out in public. I'm not high right now. I have done this show high. But I've been out, and I can go out and about and talk to people, and I love talking to people when I'm high, because I'm like, I have a secret that you don't know, and I'm like looking at them right in the eye, and I'm like, am I freaking you out? Because I know.
Well, I just sent a text to my dad to see if he could bring you home a little bag.
Oh my God!
No, that's illegal. You can't. That's
what would they do with an 83-year-old guy?
That's true.
20 years in prison for sure.
I wonder, because Colorado's been legal now for recreational marijuana for more than a year now, and we haven't heard about driving fatalities going up or incidences going up or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't think that would change too much. I mean, to be honest, I think it's so pervasive anyway. I don't think you're going to see any changes. We've been driving like that for years.
But you don't think that more people are smoking it in marijuana? In Colorado, more people are smoking marijuana, so you don't... I mean, because it seems like there would be more people smoking it, and so there would be more accidents.
Yeah, you would think so. Yeah, I guess I'd be curious.
And I question how many more, because I have a feeling those who want to smoke pot already are.
Yeah, how many people are saying, now that it's legal, I'm going to do it?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I think there is some,
mostly
but not
tourists,
that many.
Yeah,
I would think.
Well, we're going to wrap this conversation up here in a sec. First, you want to hear what Bill Maher and Patrick Kennedy, they argued about pod. Patrick
Oh,
Kennedy,
yeah.
part of the Kennedy family, former politician. They were talking about the pros and cons of marijuana and legalization.
If you give a permissive environment, you're going to have more kids use.
Oh, Jesus.
And, well, here's...
Man, come on, man.
Okay, so let me ask you a
This is
question.
like global warming denying. This is the kind of
really
stuff
is.
we heard years and years ago.
Well, we learned with the tobacco companies, Bill, that they targeted kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what makes us think that the new tobacco companies, those that are going to have a commercial interest in a profit from marijuana, aren't going to want to get new customers?
But your reasoning is adults shouldn't do things because kids might. Adults shouldn't
No.
have fire or drive
No.
cars under that reasoning, too. Kids might do all sorts of bad things. Parents have to stop them, and teachers have to stop them.
Well-
And we made laws that said tobacco companies couldn't target them. I mean, it just seems so un-Kennedy-like to be against what I said a couple of weeks ago was the new gay marriage. It is the next civil rights movement, is to get equality under the law for people who want. And I mean, you've had your drug problems, and I'm not telling tales out of school. I mean, you had problems with prescription drugs, Ambien, and
Yay.
I forget the other one that
Nice
made
job.
you drive.
You know, it doesn't matter what drugs you take.
Yes,
if you're
it does.
taking
It
drugs,
does matter because drugs are different.
Okay, so let me just say, on the marijuana thing, I care about your brain, right? So when the statistics show that moderate use of marijuana reduces your IQ,
No.
well,
wrong.
I guess
I mean, I'm reading from the Institutes of Medicine, which is the branch of the National Academy of Sciences that advises Congress.
Which
They've
medicine?
studied this. Psychology Today did an article
So-
recently. They said it's less addictive than any other drug we have: cocaine, heroin, alcohol.
Nicotine.
Their studies came out recently that said
Podcasting.
if you smoke marijuana, you have less risk
So, Bill-
of lung, neck, or head cancer. It's not linked to lung cancer, liver cancer, or crime, as so many other drugs are.
So I led the effort in Congress for drug courts because I don't believe people ought to be incarcerated because of an addiction, and I think that's a problem we have.
Well, I agree with that.
Oh, absolutely, I do. Yeah.
So there you go.
Well,
There.
yeah, I feel like people aren't incarcerated for, well, maybe they are for the addiction, but also they're incarcerated for the illegal act of selling it. I mean, that's why it's like, that's why it's a crime. That's why it's a crime to have pot, is because it's just illegal to sell it.
Well, you don't see a lot of incarceration for weed unless it's some bulk. But he's talking about some of these. You know, you're arrested 4 times for felony possession of 1 rock of crack, and or all the crimes that are associated with it. That's how you get in drug court.
I'm fascinated with the different strengths and the different strains. Like friends of mine that do it regularly, they're like, you know, you really have to try this one because it's going to get you into your happy place. Because weed that just like mellows me out and settles me down. I'm just too much of a type A person. I want to be up there.
So you want sativa.
Oh, see,
not-
here we've got our pro.
not-
We've got our pharmacist.
Not indica. There's sativa, which is more the head pot that kind of is in your head. You're a little more alert and awake. I mean, pot overall is a depressant, but that's the one that'll like stimulate you first, and then indica is indicouch. That's the one that kind of
Okay, why don't
we
we reconvene in like a month, and
Yeah.
each of us will use a different strain.
Homework.
I'm in.
Yeah,
We'll use
have
a
your
different
dad
strain,
bring it
and
back.
we'll talk about. And you're our pharmacist. I'll tell you what my needs are, and you can.
I'm going to tell your bosses this. We should fully introduce Todd Walker
Yeah.
for people who
Yes.
don't know. You've seen Todd all about town. In fact, that's one of his beats for the Minneapolis St. Paul Magazine, Todd About Town, where you're covering everything.
Cover stuff. Like Saturday night, I did the Smile Network and listened to what's his first name, David from The Voice. Nicholas David performed.
Oh,
did
yeah.
that. So I go run around town, cover events for Minneapolis St. Paul Magazine, and also do all the party patrol. So when you open it up, which Rusty has been in there, obviously.
I have.
With his lovely wife. And so I'm the one who goes in, gets the pictures taken, and then kind of stars who I think we should put in. And then I write my little column called Todd About Town, which is kind of like a page 6 New York Times, supposedly.
Yeah.
A little bit of a, gossip who was where. Talked about Rusty's wonderful wedding. That's many
Yes.
months ago.
You had the scoop. I told you the whole
I
details
know.
before anyone.
I know, it was
Oh,
great.
wow.
It was great. And then for Fox, I also do the Buzz on Friday mornings, and then on Saturday, Sundays, I'm running around chasing parades and anything that doesn't have to do with a rape or a murder.
Also on Fox.
Anything
Yeah,
that
on
doesn't
Fox.
have to do with the
Hopefully-
race.
Yeah.
Where's
means-
the fun in that, Todd?
I was going to say, hopefully you're very busy and that a lot of things don't have to do with rape and
Exactly.
murder.
Statistically, 93% have to do with rape and murder.
Oh, gosh.
Really?
In the world, yeah, it's amazing.
When people ask me what I would do for television, that's succinctly everything that's not a rape or a murder. That's what I do.
Exactly, and that and I'm pleased to do that. I mean, I could be at an event and somebody could fall down in front of me, and I'd call the assignment desk. They'd say, "We'll send a reporter," and I'd be like, "Great, go ahead. I have a parade to chase."
I love that.
I remember there was a new reporter, and I was maybe 10 years into the gig, and I had something come up with my kid had an event or something, and I had a sound check interview set up with Elton John, who was in town, and I couldn't do it. And I said, but we have this opportunity. And so the news director assigned it to this new guy in his Armani suit. He was some kid out of whatever school thought, and he was upset. Really? That's my story? And so I, in front of everyone going, really? You'd rather go cover a garage fire or a rape than interview Sir Elton John?
Yeah.
I go, that's fucked up, dude.
That is insane. Well,
So he pouted and went off and then ended up having a great night. And he came up to me later and goes, wow, you got a good gig. I went, yeah, I'm not outside of the courthouse talking about the indictment. I'm backstage at the Target Center with Elton John.
That was like me when I was a traffic cop. People would come to me like, hey, that guy just shot at me. Listen, I'm trying to write speeding tickets here. I'll call a car for you. We'll get this taken care of, but go stand over there. I know you're bleeding. I'm trying to write a ticket here.
I wonder if it's like actors, like it's more legitimate as an actor to be a dramatic actor.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
he
that's
thought
how
he
it
was
is in the
slumming
reporter.
it by doing fluff. I love fluff, and I think a lot of people don't
Sure
like to
you do.
admit it. They don't like to admit it, but
I love it.
they tune in for that stuff.
This just in, Rusty gave me now a professional fluffer.
Oh,
I did have a
that's a
situation.
position in porn.
Yeah. About 4 or 5 years ago, I was on a story at the Mall of America, very important, Father's Day ties. And what would the best Father's Day tie? And I got a call from the assignment desk, and they were like, there's been a murder in North Minneapolis. I'm like, but I'm doing Father's Day ties. Are you kidding? What's the best color?
Who's going to cover this?
I know. This is important stuff here.
I was up at the fishing opener years ago, which the Twin Cities Hit Show has been invited to the Governor's Fishing
that's
Opener.
cool.
We're going to be up there at Lake Vermilion coming up May 7th.
That's our pot smoking day.
Yeah.
Let's do
May
that.
7th.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! You think we're gonna be out? You were gonna be out on a boat in the middle of a lake without a joint? Give me a break!
Oh, Rusty,
boy.
help.
Yeah, you're
I'm
not-
denying I've heard any of
Yeah, the
this.
DNR would love us. There will be no DNR at this event.
Yeah.
We'll be fine.
Yeah.
What's DNR?
Exactly.
people
You'll
that'll-
see. You'll see.
The people that will confiscate your... Never mind.
Not if
body.
it's in my pussy.
Mini crickets.
Hey, we're looking for a co-host, Todd. Are you available every morning at 9:30?
Anyway, I was going to say is we spent all day setting up this package and story on the quaint little town that was in northern Minnesota, and I got a call from the assignment desk saying there's massive flooding in Fergus Falls or something. We're yanking your satellite truck. And I'm like, but I just did a great story on family fishing. They took the
totally
truck away.
relate.
So
Resources.
anyway.
It's all about resource allocation.
What's happening with Prince? You're connected.
Yeah. Well, last night it was the Prince concert, and it was out at Paisley Park. And the woman who sang at Michael Jackson's funeral, last name is...
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, she sang at Michael Jackson's funeral. She was out there performing with him. And he did it all in support of Record Store Day. And Judith Hill. Judith Hill.
Hill. Oh,
okay.
Who was on The Voice, season 4, I believe.
Okay.
So, yeah, pretty exciting night out at Paisley Park. I've
Wow.
never been to one of those impromptu shows. I guess
How
I'm
did
just
you
not a
hear about it?
A-list.
I didn't even hear about it.
This morning, I was just online early, but they won't post any pictures, of course, because Prince doesn't let any pictures come in there. But yeah, wouldn't you love to be on that list?
Yes.
Wow, because I've been to Paisley Park a couple of times. I got to interview Prince at Paisley Park.
Wow.
that was fun. It was very surreal.
I peed next to him at the Monte Carlo.
Wow,
Yeah.
Are you sure it was him?
In a urinal?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was really nervous. The woman I was dating at the time was sitting out at the bar, and she saw me go in, and
Wait a
right
minute.
afterwards,
Stage fright?
Well, yeah, and so not even gonna go where the eyes went. But yeah, so he comes in and there's like 2 bodyguards standing behind him, and I'm like,
yeah.
what do they think I'm gonna do with this little twerp? But now, in today's day and age, I would have pulled out my iPhone and got a little picture of what was
Yeah.
going on down there.
Totally.
and I would have been a wealthy guy.
Prince peas. Breaking news.
TMZ. Here's a picture
Yeah.
of Prince's
Prince urinating.
So that's as
doo-doo-wheelie.
close as I've gotten to him. You've been out to Paisley Park and been able to interview him. Wow.
But here's the deal. I was invited out.
Is this the time you delivered a cake?
No, that was a different time. I actually wrote a script for Prince, and his people read it. A musical I thought
Nice.
would be good for him. But we get out there, bring the live truck, and then Prince's people go, yeah, there's no cameras allowed. And I'm like, I'm about to do a live 6 p.m. report.
Oh, God.
Rusty gets the Prince interview, but I won't have any video. And they go, well, them's the breaks.
Yeah.
So
where did I hear this? Someone went into a long discussion of meeting with Prince. Where was it? Was it on this show?
I think it was on this show where we were talking about how Prince was like at 3 a.m. in the morning he can't understand why he can't get a camel.
Yes,
yeah. That was Kevin Smith's story.
Yeah,
Oh, right.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, see, I'm like a stoner now. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, but I actually remembered it. So
Yeah,
what does that
thank you.
say? How's that for your lowered IQ, Patrick Kennedy?
Yes.
Oh, I was just going to say it was all for Record Store Day, which is another one
right,
of those.
yes.
Yeah, so he was all supporting all these local places like Eclipse and
Electric Fetus, yeah.
And so he invited all those people to come out.
Cool.
So that was on his A list, which is pretty nice that he did. The whole Record Store Day, I've tried to cover it a couple of years. That thing also completely confuses me.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
what is
Yeah.
Record
How
Store
does
Day?
it confuse
It just confuses me. Okay, so what are we doing? It's all private little record store so that we celebrate and we clap and we do little events and private releases, right?
I think it's just sort of like a celebration of your local record store, like kind of keeping it mom and pop, and then they have live performances of pretty big people. One of my pals is in the Prairie Fire Lady Choir, which is a big group in town.
Oh, PFLC.
Yeah, PFLC.
What? You know about this?
I'm good with acronyms. Yeah. Really good with acronyms.
Wait, but do you know about? No, you just okay. I hate you. Anyway, they're a big group of ladies, and they sing a bunch of cover songs.
They're big ladies or a big group?
No,
of
big group of ladies. There's about 40 of them. Some of them are bigger ladies,
Okay.
but
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Nothing.
No.
But then they
Chubby
just,
Chaser.
they sing as a choir, and I know that yesterday they were in the Electric Fetus and they sang a Jeremy Messersmith song. And my pal that's in it told me that They Might Be Giants also played. Now I don't know if that's true, but she was telling me the week beforehand. She's like, They Might Be Giants is also going to play in the Electric
they were in
Fetus
town.
because they were in town. They played First Ave that night, but I think
Didn't happen.
that's sort of it's I don't know. It's a celebration of music. It's a celebration of the underground sort of subculture of vinyl, and yeah.
And it's over. It was last weekend?
It was Saturday. Yeah.
Just
Saturday.
Record Store Day. Yeah.
Well, also happening this weekend was the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, speaking of music. By the way, did you know that this was a pot song, the Beatles? You think about possible trippy songs.
Yeah.
I
can see that, though.
Yeah. According to the Beatles, Got to Get You Into My Life is actually an ode to pot, Paul McCartney explained. I guess they needed to get pot into their life.
Yeah.
It was written in 1966, but when you think of pot songs, this sounds too upbeat and happy.
Yeah.
You would think,
I thought it was
Magical Mystery Tour or Strawberry Fields.
You mean as far as like pot?
Yeah.
But I see like cartoon suns and rainbows and like.
Well, it's because you're high right now.
So
Not high, I tell you. I promised I would tell you.
last night Green Day was inducted, Lou Reed, and
calls.
then Ringo was inducted.
That's right.
As I said that he was going to be.
Yep.
And he was singing with John Lennon. Did you see that?
No, he was not singing with John
I mean,
Lennon.
Paul McCartney. It was one of those holograms.
That would have been awesome.
Breaking news.
And Joan Jett,
Joan Jett, yeah. So they had a big
who
all-star
looks
band.
the same.
Yeah.
Bad.
No, she looks amazing.
Oh, please.
Well, she looked amazing in that picture.
Would you kiss that face?
Yes.
I'm amazed that Green Day got in
Because I would
because they
kiss
seem
my
so
mom.
young to me. But
they're not.
The rule is you have to have been doing it for 25 years, so Green Day has been around.
Yeah, I have their
Yeah.
first CD, and it's very different than their really well.
I don't even
stuff
know
now.
their
It's more punk,
stuff
their
now.
early stuff.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch the Country Music Awards last night?
No,
No.
hell no.
They broke a world record for the largest number of attendees at a award event.
Because it was at
Really?
Dallas's huge stadium.
Yeah, I mean, just huge, big
Could
event.
anybody go?
I don't know. They must have just
You
opened
gotta
the
be
doors,
wearing
but
a
it was
hat.
like over 70,000 or more.
You had the biggest names in country music,
Yeah.
so...
And the biggest
Yeah.
buckles in fashion.
in fact,
And the biggest Spurs. It's Texas. Everything is
Luke
bigger.
Bryan won last night the award. In front of 110,000.
Well, okay, I got to tell you what I watched last night, guys. I did not watch that. I've never watched this show. I'm trying to dedicate more of my life to watching TV because I'm just so lame. So I'm going to try to spend more time watching TV. It's a big goal for 2015.
I'm trying to take up smoking. I know what you mean.
Maybe I'll try that too. So last night I watched Naked and Afraid. Have you guys ever watched this?
No, I've
it's a
never even
reality
heard.
show,
Oh,
right?
wait,
gosh.
yeah. I wasn't even watching TV, but I was naked and afraid last night. Yeah.
They have two people that they bring to a remote place, and they show the people dropping off their clothes on the back of the truck, and then they walk towards each other in the woods, like in these remote, horrible places with alligators and everything, and they come up and they meet the other person, and they're totally naked. And they shake each other's hand, and they go to their little area, and they decide how they're going to live for 21 days, and they have a score going in, is how well they are prepared for this, and then they rank them at the end as how well they did actually perform.
So they're
and these people are
competing against
totally
each
naked.
other?
No, they're competing. They're competing to survive for 21 days.
Yeah.
And I mean, these people get sick, dysentery. I mean, the one woman.
It's like a low-budget Survivor, except they're naked.
But you have to watch it because I found myself. I watched it for 2 hours.
Oh, I want to see
these
this.
naked
Yeah.
people walking around. But here's what I don't get: they showed this one guy and this woman, and they were in their little hut, and it was pouring rain for 3 days in this hut, naked. Now you tell me.
Yeah.
Of course, I was trying to look around. You find your head doing this, rolling your head, trying to see, can I see behind the little covering the low? I mean, I'm crazy, but yeah, I was. I was like, okay, bend down, bend up. Am I going to be able to see?
There it is. I saw it.
See a little bit of the flippers on the top end there, but nothing. Yeah, but you can't see anything. But now, when you're in that little hut for 3 days with one other person of the opposite sex. You can't tell me something isn't going to go on
unless it was so cold and nasty and horrible. But
cold
might be
nipples
cuddling.
So you're talking about when you jump in the water and it's cold and everything goes away?
Yeah,
I
was in the pool.
Well, you have to watch the show. Naked and Afraid.
Okay.
I think to watch the show you have to be.
Gonna get high with the music on.
Are you busy this morning? Can you stick around for the second half hour?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right, good. We have a guest joining us.
10.
John Russell will be joining us.
And John Russell is how would
local
you
comedian, former on-air radio personality.
Sweet.
Generally wonderful guy.
And he hosts the Rochester Goonies open mic.
So I told him
he's kind of like the godfather of Rochester comedy.
He is. He's actually really kind of got me my start in comedy.
All right. Well,
wait a minute. I thought Jen Shaw did that.
I'm over her now. She denied it.
Jen Shaw.
Yeah. No,
we have him to blame.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks so much. All
right. Well, let's take a break. All right, and we'll be
okay.
we'll be back.
The Twin Cities Hit Show with Rusty, Courtney, and Chuck will be right back.
MacMen. Don't let your computer problems drive you mad. We are MacMen, Minnesota's premier tech consultants and problem solvers for Macs, mobile devices, troubleshooting, training, and much more. No more dragging your computer all over town because we come to you. We love making house calls to your home or small business. MacMen. Call 612-345-8005. The Alive and Social Network is alive and growing. From the best in sports, music, movies, and beer, Alive and Social is what all the cool kids click on. Featuring characters like radio rebel Jeff Dubay, Star Tribune pundit Jim Suhan, Unfiltered, and television veteran and handsome man Rusty Gatenby. You can also taste the Minnesota Pubcast with Jason and Molly. Join the band with live band karaoke night from legendary O'Gara's in St. Paul and the live music showcase from Shamrocks. Yes, Alive and Social Network does indeed rock and roll. The Jeff DeBay Show, Jim Suhan Unfiltered, the Rusty Gatenby Review, the Minnesota Pubcast with Jason and Molly, live band karaoke, and Shamrock's live music showcase. Join the fun. Be alive and social with the Alive and Social Network.
The term foodie can sometimes come across as a tickle pretentious. BT and Lydia are here to demystify the term and reclaim it for the sake of good food. Their weekly podcast brings in fellow foodies and culture creators from the Twin Cities to talk about all things food. Find this duo only on the Alive and Social Network.
listening to the Twin Cities Hit Show with Rusty, Courtney, and Chuck. Say it 3 times fast. We just dare you.
No more fighting.
So sorry.
Where'd the love go? Here, you guys have this joint. Then you're gonna feel the love.
Yeah. All right. Did we lose Chuck?
Am I on mic?
There
Oh
you
yeah,
go.
we're good. Okay.
All right, so welcome back. It's 4:20. Go ahead, smoke your doobie, whatever you're going.
Pass the roach clip.
Yeah. Todd Walker
We have a
is still
420.
hanging around, and you can catch Todd all over the place. What do you like print better? Or you must love television better. That's
Well,
your
I'm
bigger
used
deal
to.
with Fox.
I've been doing television because I did 5 years in reality TV when we were both at the same station, and I did $1 Million Ideas, so that was kind of fun doing that. And then after that, and I went to Fox. Well, no, I did Home Shopping in the middle of that. So I was the guy out there saying, "You want a blow-up bed mattress? Why don't you buy 2? Because one of them could explode when that heaviside guest shows up." Yeah, so I did that. Sold watches in the middle.
Is
of the
that
night.
position open? Because I'm thinking about applying. Actually, no, I am. I really am.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I did Home Shopping for a couple of years, and then I went to Fox, and I've been there 9-10 years. And then I do the running around covering all the events that happen in the Twin Cities for Minneapolis St. Paul Magazine.
All right, cool. And now we have Chuck
John
again.
Russell.
John Russell, who we get to blame you for what? Getting Chuck interested in
Don't
comedy?
blame me.
He developed.
All right.
No.
You're a big developer,
No.
John. You're going to take some credit for this.
See, what happens is when it's an open mic,
Yeah.
and a fella can just show up.
Oh, boy.
And then
Right.
all of a sudden he says you're his inspiration.
You inspire me.
No.
That's exactly what Jen.
That's why I
Shaw said.
stopped dyeing my hair gray or black. Getting so confused. I'm just kidding. 420.
When people ask you what you do for a living, how do you explain it?
You know, it's really hard because a lot of comedians don't like to say, "Oh yeah, I'm a comedian," because then people want you to tell jokes.
Yeah, that's what we're expecting today.
Yeah, guess what?
Make
No.
me laugh now.
Right.
No, here it's really difficult because most people don't understand it because you really don't do anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Wow.
so that's a little bit better than Home Shopping.
What do you mean you don't do anything as
Oh.
a comedian?
Yeah.
What? You're writing. You're not writing. You don't write. You don't.
Oh yeah.
You don't.
Oh, of course you're right, but I mean that's not work.
You don't kill
Is that
yourself.
work? That's not work.
I don't know. I mean, it is for me. That's why I don't do it.
How would you describe your comedy?
Typically, it's stuff that happens to me, and then I put a twist on it.
Yeah.
For example,
Yeah. What happened to you?
my throat is very hoarse.
Yeah.
I had 2 shows over the weekend, so and they got their money's worth.
Yeah.
But what happens when I screw around with my voice all the time because I was in radio before. What I found out is I can do in a world where podcasting mattered. So stuff like that. Another thing, my mom called me one time, told me that my nephew shot a deer on his birthday. And the first thing that popped into my head is, how do you know it's a deer's birthday? I know.
Yes.
Shot a deer at his birthday. I get it.
See? Yeah. Thank you very
Rusty
much.
loves that one. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And you were also in radio broadcast?
Yeah, I started up at Q98 in Fargo as a sales guy, and I started doing production on my own ads, and I started doing bits with the morning shows, and
You were like the fake phone call guy or stuff, or what?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, to a degree. We did a bunch of stuff. I had a character that was Yuri Skilkovic, the 60-second psychic, and it was just horrible. He was the worst psychic ever, but people seemed to love it. And then I moved down to Rochester and tried it down there, and they took it seriously. So that was a little different. But
they have a hospital down there, by the way.
They do.
There's a Minute Clinic.
Oh yeah,
Is everything
Olmsted County. Olmsted County Medical Center. Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah.
nice.
Probably amazing.
Do you find living in the Rochester, performing, doing comedy, doing medical jokes? This doctor comes in saying, Two doctors walk into a bar, say.
Yeah, let me tell you, it's one of the most horrible things because we will get medical professionals that come to the open mic that want to give it a try.
Oh, the brain surgery.
Hey, yeah, you
Open
mind if I
mic.
come in and give a little try of this heart surgery?
But don't
don't
you feel more pressure to be funny because you have all these people down there that are obviously have patients in the hospital and there's a lot of sad people and you've got to be up there going, "Hey, I'm going to make you laugh tonight."
I'll be honest with you, not really, because I mean they're there.
Screw
and,
'em.
Yeah, I don't feel any responsibility.
Here's the thing, particularly for the open mic, because the open mic is I mean, we average about 30 people down there for that open mic.
Yeah.
Wanting to go on.
Yeah. And
Which is a lot or not a lot?
it's
Rusty,
a
you should
ton.
do this.
That's a ton.
It's a ton.
I can't put my head around that yet. Doing comedy because I try and go, what would I do? And I go blank.
Let me tell you, you come down to Rochester, you watch the open mic, and you go, holy cats, I'm funnier than 15 of those people.
Yeah,
That's what I feel like at pretty much every open mic.
Yeah.
But when you're forced to be up there, because I've thought about that as well. I mean, Rusty and I have similar backgrounds, but to go up there and say, and now, ba-ba-ba-bum, be funny, that just seems so difficult to me because one of the people I did work with at KSTV back in the day, they pulled me aside my very first year and they said, let funny happen on its own. Don't try and be funny. Let it happen. And it was a really great advice because go out there and say, I'm going to be funny now. It really does need to just happen.
That's horrible
Yeah.
advice for comedy. Because
Make
people
it
get up and like,
simple.
I'm going to just let funny happen. So here's a funny story from my life, blah, blah, blah.
yeah.
Crickets,
With
crickets.
stand-up, the trick is, I think, there's a lot of work going into making it look easy. There's a lot of work
Right.
making it look easy.
The main part of stand up, I guess, in my opinion, is and everybody has a different style. There's a lot of different styles, but the main thing is that when you're up there, you want to make it sound like it's just contemporaneous.
Yeah.
Just like it's a nice spontaneous conversation that you're having with the audience. That just takes a lot of practice. If you have a joke and it's good, it'll be good. Boom. But it's just practice and knowing how to deal with different audiences, knowing how to deal with the guy that's there with his bald mom because she's having chemo today.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's why comedy is one of the hardest is because you can't practice in your home. You have to go out and practice in front of an audience to know which jokes are funny and how to tweak it when you have that certain audience member who might not take, putting an accent on a different word to make the joke like seem a little, less abrasive or whatever.
It's insane because when I first started, I taped myself all the time. And then I would go back and I would watch it over and over and over again. Now that I'm in like 7 years, I don't do that as much. But what I found was there would be a joke that was a good joke and it would get a laugh if I lifted my finger one way.
Right.
Yep.
If I lifted it in my left hand, not laugh.
That's
Right
weird.
hand, laugh like crazy.
Yeah.
And it is very insane that way.
Yeah. Yeah. How long have you been running that open mic down there?
Probably about 6 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't realize you'd done it that long. I mean, I got to say, this is when I say John developed me. Here's what he did. He ran an open mic that I went to, but that open mic is amazing, and it's second to none. What I like about it is John will put everybody up. When he says 30 people show up, that means 30 comedians are doing set. I was there one night. I think we had 28. Hey, and screw you, by the way. That was a long night. But it's incredible. And
There's a time limit, right? There's not a...
We typically
you're
what
there all
happens down
night.
there, and we're pretty proud of it because Rochester is the Goonies Comedy Club is the only comedy club in the state and probably close to the Midwest where it's a true sign up, get up. If you sign up before the deadline, you're going to get up.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, exactly.
I see. I just got scared thinking about
I did
that.
too. I'd be nervous the whole time.
I'm going to make you two come with down to Rochester.
If you guys came down to the open mic, I would make sure that I used fake names, that I put you in the middle in a good spot.
Yep.
Okay.
Nobody would know. I mean,
I'll be Rusty Gatenby. That's my fake name.
And Rusty
We
will
would
be
have
Rusty
to be-
Gatenberg. I'm in.
We got our pharmacist here.
Yeah.
Do we like Doug Benson as a comedian?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Since it's 420, here's a little bit of Doug Benson on marijuana.
There's a commercial on now that's the absolute worst one, where a young teenage girl, is melting into a couch. She's physically melting. Have you seen it? Her body is transforming. She's like... She's melting, and there's a girl sitting next to her who goes, she smokes pot. This is what she's been like ever since she started smoking pot. This is all we ever do. Okay, first of all, the girl who doesn't smoke pot, not exactly the most fucking sparkling personality in the world. How much of a loser do you have to be the person that's more boring than the stoner and has nothing better to do than sit and watch the stoner melt and not even fucking call 911 or even 411 to say, I've got some interesting information. So the girl's melting into the couch. Let's pick up where we left off. The girl's melting. And as a pot smoker, I'm not deterred. I'm watching that commercial going, how do I get a hold of some of that weed? That is some amazing shit that I would like to try. I've been smoking the can't find my keys weed. And somewhere in the world there is some melting into the couch shit. That would be an incredible ride. Plus, if I melted into the couch, maybe I'd find my keys. It would be...
So what did he do there? What did he do there?
420.
What did he do? What do you mean?
There was a lot of turns, right? That's what comedy is, an unexpected turn.
I think that's it, is that just leading the audience, maybe, I mean, that's one way to do it. They're leading the audience one way and then making a twist and then making another turn or whatever.
Are we going to do this, Todd? Are we actually going to go
You
through
know,
it?
I would like to do it.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, I was one of the judges in the improv stand-up competition here in town, and I left thinking, I want to do that. I mean, Miss Shannon was with me, and it was a good group of people. And watching them do the improv, I mean, it was fun.
Where was
I would like to
that?
do
Was
it.
that at Huge?
Yeah, it was actually at the Hopkins.
Oh yeah, that was the one
Performing
I
Arts.
did that she was talking about.
Oh, okay.
It was fun, but I would like to.
Saddle
something
up,
about I'd like
petunias. I'm driving you two down to Rochester on a Thursday.
Is there any place you won't go? I noticed the other night on Saturday Night Live, there was a big controversy
Thematically.
about
He's legally restricted
Yeah.
from being in the city of Burnsville, but that's
because he would not take on Bruce Jenner. They did take on Bruce Jenner, and they received quite a few complaints on that. And I don't know why. I mean, the guy's a freak. Yeah.
wait a minute.
No,
I mean, at
Wait.
60 years
unfair.
old, I mean, why doesn't he just dress like a woman? I mean, freak is the wrong word. I don't have any problem with people that want to go through that. But if you're over 60, just dress as a woman. Put on some falsies. You're wearing them now. You'd borrow them up. I mean,
Oh, no, you didn't. What? I'm not wearing anything fake.
I am.
but
Because when you are a woman on the inside and you've been hiding it for 60 years, then it's like you got to let it out. This is the time for him.
So why can't we joke about it though?
Oh, I think we can joke about it.
Okay.
Does
Yeah,
that mean then that we put an asterisk by his gold medals?
What? I don't know why.
Just like with Roger
Maris.
Because,
Wait, what?
Well, yeah, because
Because
he
he's
competed
really
as
a
a
woman
man,
he
but now he's a
competed as a man.
woman, but he felt like a woman.
see,
Hey,
no,
look at you, John Russell.
I just dropped a pipe bomb, didn't I?
Well, as somebody who's been comfortable in his own skin his whole life, I mean, can you drop that bomb?
Sure.
Do you know John well? Because he's not comfortable
No,
in
I
his own
don't.
skin. He
That's the thing,
loathes
is that-
himself. I'm not comfortable in his skin.
Just specifically, that is a weird story, and it's also going to be weird that it's probably going to be the most watched televised event
Yeah.
coming up April 24th. Diane Sawyer, 2
Yeah.
hours on ABC with Bruce, Belinda, whatever his name
let's
is.
all dress in drag and watch it.
I wish
together.
I wish it were like Geraldo Rivera doing it. He did the big reveal. Turns out he was wrong. Bruce was a man the whole time.
Well, you know, what I also find is the tabloids were onto this story like 8 months before, and he would deny it. Officially say, no, there's nothing going on. There's nothing going on. I'm not transitioning.
I've been drinking a lot of soy milk.
And I just don't get that. I mean,
Because,
why?
See, I don't
because
understand.
our world is mean.
But don't you think a lot of that came from the Kardashian camp that didn't want them embarrassed?
I guess.
good
I
point.
think so.
But they had to know, no, this ship is going to eventually
Oh, yeah.
go to port.
Right.
So you will be revealed as lying
See,
right
I
now,
would've
and
just-
adamantly lying.
Right, I would have just had no comment. I agree with you, Rusty. I think that he's doing it fine. It's his choice. He has the money to do it. Go ahead if you've been suffering all these years. But don't lie initially
Yeah,
on.
they
Just
were
have no comment.
explicitly saying he is not transitioning into a woman. Your story is false. And then it's like, but you know he is.
That just
Why are you
discredits-
going on record as a liar? Anyway, who cares? All right. Speaking of ladies,
Oh, that's me.
420.
This is the part of the show where we throw it to Courtney's court.
The HuffPo has some fun marijuana gifts for 420. Gifts, not GIF.
Get
like
it?
moving.
HuffPo,
Yeah.
420.
HuffPo.
What do they have for gifts?
420. Well, one is this horrible weed mask. This is all stuff that I guess is visual. Cannabis pizza sauce.
Cannabis pizza sauce.
Yeah. A portable.
Would you really get high from pizza sauce that has cannabis in it?
Well,
Depends,
yeah.
right?
I mean, the thing about THC, the THC compound, is it hooks onto fat. So that's why you can cook it in butter, because it'll absorb in the fat of the butter. So if you whatever fat you're using in pizza sauce, I don't know what fat, olive oil maybe. If you mix that in together, yeah, it'll help, and it's sort of a different kind of high than smoking it.
So you get the munchies and you're like, God, I really could use a pizza. Now you've just doubled down on your highness.
Yeah.
Now you are melting into the couch.
That's the problem. That's the problem with pot brownies is because you take a pot brownie, you get high, and then you're like, oh, I just want to eat more of these brownies. And then you get insane in the membrane.
And then you try to drive, and then we go
and then you try to drive.
All started.
And then Chuck pulls you over and confiscates your shit.
I'll be taking this as evidence, all of it, all 12 pounds. Help me put it in my trunk.
Can I just want to tell the story of how I got that
Hot
ticket.
yoga pants?
Yeah, pot yoga pants. They have like little cat faces on these pot leaves for some reason.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, I don't care about that. What I really want to talk about is how Meryl Streep is paving the way for more female screenwriters, and
That's cool.
She is starting a writer's lab for women over 40 in Hollywood because she's a goddess. I love her. Anyway, announced Sunday at the Tribeca Film Festival, the lab will be called the Writers Lab, and we don't know how much. She donated a bunch of money to the cause, and the number has been described with the words such as significant and generous. The lab is going to be run by New York women in film and television. And it's the only program of its kind. The Writers Lab evolved in recognition of the absence of the female voice in narrative film, along with the dearth of support for script development.
I just want to ask you, being the only female in the room, how would you feel if that whole story, we took out the word Meryl Streep and we put in Dustin Hoffman, and he was going to support men?
Yeah.
How would you feel?
And he was going to support
here's
men's
the deal.
screenwriters?
No, here's the deal. Because I'm a little bit over. It's 2015. I'm a little bit over all these special events. I mean, I'm a runner, right? I mean, I can't run in the Nike Runs for Women event that is happening all over the country. We have Women Run the Cities. We have all of these different events that are focused on women. I'm okay, but it's 2015. Let's all just run the races together. And if you want to put the money in the pot to go help out these,
Wait, so I'm confused. You don't get to run in those runs?
Some of them are very specific. Like Women Run the Cities is a women's event.
Well,
And
here's
that's
the
it.
thing: is that women don't feel safe around a lot of men, and men have had privilege for thousands and thousands of years. It is 2015. I completely agree. Women should earn $1 to $1 a men, but we don't. We still don't have the same things as men. There are still very, very few female screenwriters and directors and women in Hollywood compared to men, and so that's why this stuff. It's not unnecessary.
I understand
Yeah.
that we do need to support those that maybe are not having the same privilege as their contemporaries, but at the same time, it just seems like it is so overdone where there's all these different specific events for women.
I'm hoping we get to a point that society is as you're describing, but I agree that we're not quite there yet. There are female directors, the Catherine Bigelow, Hurt Locker, and Zero Dark 30, and screenwriters. There's just the proportion is not the same yet, and yeah, the wage disparity still exists.
And I still experience I feel I experience sexism every day, and I'm not saying
Right here in the studio.
I'm not, I don't know what it's like to be a person of color.
Well, I don't mean to demonstrate.
But that,
for example, so we're done with Courtney because she's a woman. And,
Right?
He tried to mute her mic. Stop it.
But I
stop
think
it.
they think it's hilarious. No, I don't care, obviously, but I mean, these problems still exist, and it might be overkill. And I think that, of course, it feels like overkill from your vantage point, being a white male.
white guilt.
I mean, that's
well
that's
said.
not what white guilt is.
No, well said. It just in the in the arena of athletic activities, there seems to be such a emphasis on events that are focused just on females being able to participate, and I look at it and I say it's 2015.
Well, it's like those people who complain, why is there a black entertainment channel? If there was a white entertainment channel, there'd be an uproar. And
but it's like every entertainment channel is a white entertainment channel.
Yeah, but hopefully they will be heading that way where we won't need a black entertainment channel.
Why is there
and
not...
when we have a woman president, which I bet we will.
Yes.
I think
where's
a lot
my
of it...
Jew entertainment channel?
That's ABC,
My people
NBC,
get
CBS.
No, we own it, but our content isn't on there. We may own it.
I wonder who wrote this movie, by the way.
These high school boys and girls are having a hop at the local soda fountain. Innocently they dance. Innocent of a new and deadly menace lurking behind closed doors. Marijuana. Burning weed with its roots in hell.
Hell.
I think this movie is coming out
In
this
this
spring.
film, you will see the ease with which this vicious plant can be grown in your neighbor's yard.
Put a stop to it.
Reefer Madness, a cult classic.
Did
All
I
right,
tell you about the time that my father discovered... I'm sorry. My father discovered I was smoking weed. I was 19.
He passed you the joint?
No. But when I came home, he was sitting there waiting for me, and my friend and I drove to go see Mars Attacks High, and he came home. My dad was
Great
like, I don't
movie.
care. Yeah, I don't care if you watch or if you smoke recreationally, but don't you dare drive. But he also told me that my parents were growing pot plants in the backyard until I was about 3. And a neighbor came over and was like, I know what those are. And so then they took them out. But I was...
Then they moved him to the basement.
Yeah, I wish. Anyway.
Well, Todd's dad has a much better story. He's in the middle of a pot plantation.
Spring break at Monkey Grass Farms in Wenatchee, Washington, working on a pot farm.
Was that pot farm around before it was legal?
Of course not. Absolutely not.
All right, let's
All
talk
right.
about legality, shall we?
Yes.
Yes. Two stories I want to talk about today, and I feel I should go out on a high note. So I'm going to save my pot story for the second. But I want to talk about Yulia Simonova, accused of hiring undercover cop to torture, kill former student. A Russian school teacher is accused of hiring an undercover police officer to torture and murder a former student she harbored a personal dislike for. I want you... I'm going to do it in her accent that I probably do horribly.
Yeah,
I want you
horrible.
to break his arms and legs, but do not touch his face. Yulia Simonova, a 52-year-old music teacher, allegedly told an undercover police officer posing as a hitman, really attack and damage his kidneys because I want him to bleed out. I want to see him in a really bad state. My favorite part about this story is her
your horrible accent?
Yes, that too. Chatura is a large town, blah, blah, blah. It's near Moscow.
Can Chuck do open mic before Todd and I go on? You want the bar lower?
Yeah, like 2 days before?
Okay, I'll do it in my Slurpee accent. During the meeting, the spurned teacher allegedly told the undercover officer she wanted to say a few words to the intended 15-year-old victim before he died. Then we will finish him together. Oh, my. And she's a music teacher. How much hatred could you harbor as a music teacher?
Okay, Sarah.
Come on.
I played violin in the 4th grade. And
The hills are alive with hatred.
Everyone
Yep.
around me hated me.
Yep. Well, would they pay 100,000 rubles to have you killed? I don't think so, because that's what she paid.
It's like $5, right, in American?
She had 2,000 American. Personal dislike for the unidentified teenager. Some local media reports say she had romantic feelings for him. Now it's all coming out.
Oh, even in Russia that happens, huh?
Yeah.
Is she one of the hot school teachers that
She's not a
get all
bad-looking
rapey
gal
with
from the upskirt video I'm looking at from the undercover police car. So there you go. Don't piss off the Russian school teacher, John Russell. I'm looking at you.
Try Natasha bad enough the next time you try an accent.
Rocky and Bullwinkle. All right, kids, what have we learned today? Good Lord.
Do you want me to talk about the St. Paul couple
Oh,
accused
yeah.
of giving
Oh,
their
yeah,
marijuana to an infant?
Oh, to an infant.
This is
Wow.
out of St. Paul. Minnesota couple is accused of giving marijuana to their infant. 31-year-old Richard Martin, charged with 5th-degree sale and child endangerment. His wife is charged with child endangerment. The complaint says police found 7 marijuana plants growing in their basement with various paraphernalia. According to the complaint, Richard told police his 1-year-old baby smokes marijuana and he would rather give his baby the drug than Tylenol. The complaint says his wife denied knowing anything about the operation, although it was discovered in plain view. And they found a number of videos and pictures that also support this. So, a couple of videos of them holding the pipe up and the kid smoking the pipe. And
1-year-old kid.
Well,
This is
glaucoma starts so young these days.
It's a preventative.
Yeah.
Glaucoma measure.
I blame
taken
Jenny
by loving
McCarthy
parents.
and the failure to vaccinate for glaucoma.
See, and I guess I'm not immediately going to blame marijuana on the bad parenting. There's shitty parents everywhere who make horrible ideas in
Let's go beyond
Redneckville. That
Your brain is still developing. It's like
At 31.
At 1.
They probably stunted their brains.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can't be doing any,
Yeah. I would not. Here's the thing. I would not let.
This was in Minnesota?
St. Paul.
St. Paul. My side of the river.
And mine too.
Now it
I
all
know.
makes sense.
That's where I
Did you grow
live.
up in the ghetto too? I'm from
Yeah,
Highland Park
absolutely.
as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I tell you what. If I saw that 1-year-old driving, I would test it and arrest it.
Sure.
For
Totally.
Clearly under the influence. Clearly.
Check his juicy cup, too. There could be...
You're harsh.
That apple juice might be spiked.
Open that diaper. Cavity surge.
Oh, that's bad.
Well, now have we
420.
done,
I tuned out.
420.
now have we done enough?
420.
Oh, okay, fine. Todd, where can people find you then again?
Let's see. Well, I'll be on the Fox Buzz on Friday, and then this weekend I'm
And there's a new show on Fox, right? Is that
coming up. I'm not sure what it is going to be called or anything.
After
but-
you guys?
Yep. Yeah, there'll be a
Okay.
new one coming up I think, in the late summer sometime.
All right.
And then this weekend I'll be at a couple events for Minneapolis St. Paul Magazine. So.
What events?
I think Art and Bloom is this weekend, and it's not Pacer isn't this week. I think it's the following weekend. So.
Well, you should write about this hit show.
Heck yeah!
All right.
Now you know why you're on.
Yeah.
No, you were great. You were an
Yeah,
awesome guest.
Thank you for joining us.
I had no idea your dad was a 80-year-old pothead. And how do we get to your comedy neck of the woods down in Rochester?
Man, you can, it's Goonies Comedy Club is down there, but my website's johnrussellcomedy.com, and I'm heading out west in a couple of weeks.
Going where?
We're starting in Colorado.
Free pot or legal pot there.
And working our way up into the Northwest.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
So your website again is?
johnrussellcomedy.com.
johnrussellcomedy.com. Who do we have on this hit show tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow we have Mike O'Keefe, who is also a local comic. We
Yeah.
got a lot of comedians.
And Snarky Smartass from the
And
Monday Night Comedy Show.
Yes.
He just sits in the
Snarky.
back and... Yeah.
He's a lot of fun, very funny. He just came back from tour as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Boom.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah,
It was
thanks
fun.
for coming.
Thank you.
420.
Are you going to be smoking at 420 today?
Probably. I'm probably going to smoke as soon as I get home. I have a day off. Actually, I have to buy more.
Oh, boy. All right. Twin Cities Hit Show. I'm sorry. Someone shut him up.
It's over. The hit show is over. You've been listening to the Twin Cities Hit Show with Rusty, Courtney, and Chuck. Now go home, unless you're already home.